Hi, this is Rudy Jones of PalmettoStateBaseball.com. Welcome to the South Carolina College Baseball Recap for Sunday, May the 3rd. There were 21 games involving state teams played on Sunday. In fact, there's one game still going on as I record this at about 11:35 p.m. Benedict and Morehouse are in the third inning, actually the top of the fourth now, of their game in the Southern Intercollegiate Athletic Conference Tournament in Macon, Georgia. I'm not going to give another scoring update. I won't do another recording to get that game, but I will add up the scores and put it online at PalmettoStateBaseball.com, and also updates and the final score on my X account, which is Palmetto Base. But anyway, also I will not be doing That Was the Week That Was in South Carolina College Baseball until sometime Monday, because this game and a couple of others ran so late and I just wasn't able to get everything done. Anyway, involving games that were played, Tristan McClatty and Jaron Purify had RBI singles in the 8th inning, and Clemson rallied to beat number 20 Boston College 4-3 to get the rubber game of an ACC series over at Doug Kingsmore Stadium. It was Clemson's first home ACC series win this season. Tigers improved to 28-20, 8-16 in the ACC. They're still tied for 15th with Cal. And BC fell to 35-16 and 17-10. Purify had 3 hits, including a home run in the game. He had missed over a month with a hand injury, and his last hit before Sunday was on March 18th at the Citadel. Elsewhere, Andrew Buffkin and 2 relievers combined on a one-hitter as the Citadel shut out Presbyterian in Game 1. Then the Bulldogs got held to 1 hit themselves and won Game 2 to sweep PC. First game score was 3-0. Second game score was 2-1. The Bulldogs have now won 4 straight games. They are 25-22, and Presbyterian has lost 5 straight games. They are 10-38. For the Bulldogs, in Game 1, Lane Tobin was 2 for 2 with 2 walks, 2 runs scored. And in Game 2, Trip Brown got the win. He went 5 innings, allowed 3 hits, no runs, and 5 strikeouts. The Citadel pitchers over the past week had an ERA of .084 in 4 games. They got 2 shutouts. Opponents were batting .143 in the 3 games against PC and also the South Carolina game. 15 hits in 32 innings for opponents. Citadel pitchers struck out 31. And I did name the Citadel as the Palmetto State Baseball Team of the Week for April the 27th through May the 3rd. It was a pretty easy pick, as you can tell. Elsewhere on Sunday, Jackson Weiner doubled and homered to drive in 4 runs in Game 1 as Coastal Carolina beat Georgia Southern 14-4. But in Game 2, the Eagles scored 6 runs in the second inning and got the split. I think they scored 6. They scored 3 in the first and I think 3 in the third. But anyway, they had a big early attack. Coastal, number 9 in the D1Baseball.com poll, is now 33-14, 19-5. But then the Sun Belt, yet they got another Sun Belt Conference Series win. Georgia Southern, which is having a miserable season, is 14-34 and 6-18. For the Chanticleers, in Game 1, Dean Mijos had a single, 2 doubles, 2 runs scored, and 3 RBI. Looking elsewhere, Trey Bentley, Johnny Sweeney, and Henry Zener had 3 hits apiece as USC Upstate completed a sweep of Gardner Webb 13-2 in a game that was called after 7 innings because of the run rule. Sweeney hit his 32nd career home run as part of the onslaught for the Spartans, who have won 3 straight games after losing 9 straight. Upstate is now 22-26 overall, 11-10 in the Big South. Gardner Webb fell to 22-27 and 8-13. Up in Wilmington, Carson Bryant struck out 7 in 7 innings, and Parker Sweeney added 5 in 2 innings. And College of Charleston shut out UNCW 5-0 to take the rubber game of that series. The Cougars are now 22-24, 12-12 in the Coastal Athletic Association. UNCW fell to 26-20 and 14-10. For the college, Landon Penfield had a couple of doubles, a run scored, and 3 RBI. Also on Sunday, LSU completed a sweep of South Carolina, 7-0. The Tigers had gone into this series with 9 straight SEC losses. Of course, they won all 3. Gamecocks looked pretty anemic at the plate. They also were not too hot in the field, and they didn't run the bases very well either. It was pretty much an all-around bad effort for Carolina, or bad performance. I'll say that. I can't question the effort. Gamecocks fell to 22-27. They've lost 5 straight games, 7-17 in the SEC. LSU with the win moved to 28-21 and 9-5, 15 in the SEC. They're now 2 games up on the Gamecocks, who had a 1-game lead over LSU going into the series. And instead of making hay, they made something else. In Asheville, both teams had 5 hits and committed 3 errors, but UNC Asheville did more with what it got, shutting out Winthrop 9-0 to salvage the final game of that Big South Conference series. The Bulldogs are now 18-30 overall, 6-12 in the Big South. Winthrop fell to 30-18 and 13-5. Cooper Smith struck out 9 in a complete game for UNC Asheville. And in the final game involving a state team, Western Carolina scored 5 runs in the 4th inning and withstood a 3-run ninth by Wofford to beat the Terriers 7-5 and take the rubber game of that Southern Conference series. Western is 31-17 overall, 12-6 in the SoCon. Wofford fell to 31-17 and 9-6. For Wofford, Ben Timblin had a single, a double, a run scored, and an RBI. In Conference Carolinas, Thomas Powell drove in 3 runs and Josh Folks had 3 hits as North Greenville topped Young Harris 9-4 to force a second game or a winner-take-all game on Monday in the Conference Carolinas Tournament Championship. Young Harris fell to 38-16 with a loss. In that game for the Crusaders, Mason Sweeney was 2 for 3 with a double, a walk, a run scored, 2 stolen bases, and 2 RBI. Earlier in the day, the Trailblazers eliminated Belmont Abbey with a 11-3 win. That's when Micah Tackett pitched. He had a win. He pitched 6 innings, 2 runs scored, and 3 strikeouts. Or allowed 2 runs and 3 strikeouts. North Greenville and Young Harris have played a winner-take-all game at 1 o'clock on Monday at Caramont Health Park in downtown Gastonia. In the Peach Belt Conference, Columbus State got a couple of wins on Sunday. First, they beat USC Aiken by a score of 6-2, to eliminate the Pacers from the tournament. That dropped the Pacers to 36-17 for the season, into their regular season anyway. They're hopeful in that large bid. It'll be kind of tough. But then Columbus State beat Lander, the top seed in the regional, by a score of 8-2 to force out 3 o'clock winner-take-all game at Greenwood Stephen B. Dolney Stadium. Columbus State's now 30-21. Lander is 33-19. The Bearcats had an 11-game winning streak snapped with that loss. For Aiken, in its loss, they got Blake Martin was 2 for 3 with a walk and an RBI. For Lander, in its loss, Ryan Hansen had a home run. Again, they'll be playing Columbus State on Monday at 3 in Greenwood. In Junior College Region 10, Forest Arlington Tech advanced to the championship round of the tournament with a win over Gaston College, 4-1. In that, Gaston College was the top seed and regular season champion. The Stingers held the Rhinos scoreless until late in the game, and that also ended an 18-game winning streak for Gaston College. Forest Arlington Tech is now 48-10. For the Stingers, Elijah Sanders went 4 to 3rd innings, allowed a hit, no runs, and he struck out 8. With that loss, Gaston College fell into a loser's bracket game, but they had to wait for the winner of the USC Union and USC Lancaster game. And in that game, Lancaster got off to an early lead, but USC Union won it 9-4 to end Lancaster's season at 24-28. Union advanced to play Gaston College on the final game on Sunday night, and it was not good. Gaston College won 21-1 in 5 innings to end USC Union's season. The Bantams were 32-24, but for the 4th straight year they set a school record for wins, so it was another positive step for the Bantams in that. And once again, Gaston College and Forest Arlington Tech will play at 11 o'clock Monday for the championship at Lexington County Baseball Stadium. If Gaston College should win, they'll play again at approximately 3 o'clock. The teams have already played 7 times this year. Gaston College has won 4, FT Tech's won 3, and that is 3 of the 4 losses that Gaston College has. The other one was a loss to USC Sumter. Gaston College did not lose a non-region game this year. In the South Atlantic Conference, former Spartanburg Methodist pitcher Kemper Nix struck out 13 in 6 2/3 innings, and Catawba run-ruled Coker 10-0 to advance to the championship series in the SAC. It'll begin next week in Asheboro, North Carolina. Nathan Crisman had 3 hits and drove in 5 runs for the Indians. Elsewhere, former Clemson player Leighton Lackey doubled and homer to drive in 5 runs, and Lenore Ryan eliminated Newberry by a score of 28-25, but then I gave Newberry's record. I'm sleepy, I didn't get a nap today. The score of that South Atlantic Conference game for Lenore Ryan, it was 12-10, Lenore Ryan over Newberry. Newberry ended its season at 28-25. For the Wolves, Keeler Osborne was 3 for 4 with a double, a run scored, a walk, and 2 runs driven in. Wingate defeated Lenore Ryan in that championship round of that game by a score of 12-11. So the championship of the South Atlantic Conference series is going to be played on next week at Asheboro, North Carolina, at McCrary Park. Best of 3, Catawba against Wingate. Again, that's the top seed and the number 2 seed. So things went according to form there. In the SIAC, as I mentioned, Benedict is playing right now, but they played Savannah State earlier in the day. They beat the Tigers by a score of 13-10. They scored 6 runs in the 6th inning and held on to win. Benedict's 23-15 going into the game tonight, and Savannah State ended the season at 27-20. Cameron Haley doubled, hit 2 homers, walked, scored 3 times, and drove in 3 runs for the Tigers. Also for Benedict in that game, you got Milton Herring was 3 for 5 with a double, a walk, 3 runs scored, and 4 RBI. That is it for the state games involving state teams. We'll look at the other things going on now outside the state, including some other tournament games. Anyway, in the ACC, number 14, Florida State beat Pitt 6-4. Notre Dame outslugged Stanford 18-13. Cal beat Virginia Tech 9-4. Number 2, North Carolina beat Duke in a game that did not count in the ACC standings, 13-0. Number 23, Radford was swept. Number 23, Virginia swept Radford 11-1 and 14-5. And then number 3, Georgia Tech beat Xavier 14-6 to win the rubber game of that series. ACC standings now through Sunday. Georgia Tech's 19-5, North Carolina 2 games back at 17-7. Another game and a half back is Boston College. Florida State's at 17-10. Florida State's 15-9. Miami's at 13-11. Wake Forest at 14-13. Virginia and NC State are at 12-12. Virginia Tech is at 13-14. Pitt, Stanford, and Louisville are at 10-14. Notre Dame is at 11-16. Duke is at 9-15, and Clemson and Cal are tied at 8-16. In the SEC, number 5, Georgia completed a sweep of Missouri 14-4. Number 7, Texas A&M salvaged the series finale with Auburn by a score of 4-3. Number 4, Texas beat number 10, Mississippi State 11-6 to get the rubber game of that series. Number 25, Florida run-ruled number 15, Oklahoma 12-2 in 8 innings. Number 22, Arkansas edged number 17, Ole Miss 5-4. And Tennessee avoided a sweep at Kentucky by winning Sunday's game 10-9. How about the SEC standings? Georgia's now 18-6. Texas A&M and Texas are tied for second at 15-8. Mississippi State's at 14-10, as is Auburn. Alabama, Arkansas, and Florida are at 13-11. Oklahoma and Ole Miss are at 12-12. Tennessee and Kentucky are at 11-13. Vanderbilt is at 10-14. LSU is at 9-15. South Carolina is at 7-17. And Missouri is at 4-20. And some other games that I may not have mentioned in the other pod of the Peach Belt Conference Regional. North Georgia beat Flagler 11-1 in 7 innings. So the Nighthawks, coached by former Gamecock Nolan Belcher, will host the championship series against either Lander or Columbus State next weekend and Dahlonega as you go through there. In other games in the SIAC tournament, Morehouse beat Miles 8-7 to advance to that game they're playing right now against Benedict. Edward Waters knocked off top seeded Spring Hill 1-0. I caught the tail end of that game. Spring Hill was down 1-0 going to the bottom of the ninth. Got a leadoff double. The guy tried to stretch it into a triple. He got thrown out at third. And that is something you just don't like to do when you're behind like that. But anyway, how about the Monday schedule? We've got some conference finals going on as well as another conference tournament beginning. Here's what we got going on. Conference Carolinas Tournament Finals at Claremont Health Park in Gastonia. North Greenville's at Young Harris at 1 o'clock. The National Christian College Athletic Association South Regional is going to be played in Toccoa. Most of the games are at Toccoa Falls. At 1 o'clock, at 9:30, you have Trinity of Jacksonville playing number 5 Payne. Trinity's number 3 seed. Number 2, Toccoa Falls, is playing number 7 Baptist University of Florida at noon. And Bob Jones, the number 5 seed, is playing number 4 Southeastern Baptist at 2:30. The Bruins, if they get a win in this week, they'll set a school record for wins in a season. There will be a 4th game played on Monday. It will be the game 1 loser, Trinity or Payne, against Toccoa Falls or Baptist U. That game will be at 7:30 at Stevens County High School. Must be Toccoa Falls does not have lights. Also on Monday, we talked about the Columbus State Lander game. They'll be playing at 3 o'clock at Dolby Stadium in Greenwood in the Peach Belt Conference. Region 10, as I said before, Florida Starnes Tech and Gaston College will play at 11. If Gaston College wins, they'll play again at 3 o'clock. If FD Tech wins at 11 or at 3, they go on to the district championship this coming weekend. And the SIAC tournament, this is kind of a guess right here, but they pushed games back a day because of rain on Friday. Here we go. Game 13, Spring Hill is going to play either Benedict or Morehouse at 1 o'clock, winner of Benedict and Morehouse. And then game 14 should be Edward Waters against either Spring Hill, Benedict, or Morehouse at 5 o'clock. That is it for the South Carolina College Baseball recap for Sunday, May the 3rd, and also the schedule for Monday, May the 4th. Again, I'll try to do that was the week that was at some point on Monday. For now, this is Rudy Jones inviting you to follow my coverage of South Carolina College Baseball at PalmettoStateBaseball.com. See, I didn't get a nap. I'm just having a miserable time. And follow in-game updates on X under Palmetto Base. But for now, this is Rudy Jones saying good night, Jesus loves you.